The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all.
Get ready to dive into the comic book realm where heroes rise and villains take the helm. We're here to dissect the stories in the art. A source material, we tear the panels apart. Welcome to the source material show now. We don't hold back, we won't let you down. From Batman to Spider-Man, it's all fair game. We'll talk about the heroes, the villains, and everything in between. Oh yeah.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
You're my favorite dad, Jesse. Will you be my
Oh,
dad?
well, thanks. Oh, I've seen your dad. I can respect him too.
You be my
I
daddy.
don't want to take his place.
You'd be creating your own place, Daddy.
Oh my goodness.
I'll stop making my Father's Day gift for you. I will not make this any weirder than I already have.
Yeah, whatever. I will not hold my breath. My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Source Material Comics Podcast. And we are here to celebrate Father's Day by taking a book focused on one of the most villainous fathers out there.
Some would say one of the best fathers.
Yeah, some would say. When it came down to it, he did finally make the right decision. These books that we're about to talk, no good decisions in here, I don't think. As far as, well, when I say good, I mean morally right. We'll just put it that way.
He throws a woman who betrayed him out an airlock. So far, so good.
Yeah. Yes. You probably would you would be okay with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, we're talking Darth Vader, and man, you were like, okay, I want to do volumes 1 through 4.
Right.
I was like, okay, all right, I can do that. And I also want to do Vader Down. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. And we also got to do the annual, which apparently the annual's in this too. I assume it's in the trade.
Yes, it is. It's, I believe,
omnibus,
the first issue of trade paperback number 3, the Short Tune-In War.
Yes. Yeah. So we are going to be talking a total of, oh my goodness, I didn't even tally them up. I know we got 25 issues in the main series, 1 annual, and probably 3 other issues. That crossed over with Star Wars and Vader Down. It's probably 4.
Well, the Vader Down single issue. Then there was like 2 issues of the Darth Vader proper comic that we're reviewing. And then there was like 2 issues of the Star Wars comic. So I think it was 5 total.
So that's close, very close to 30 issues.
Yeah.
And yeah, I told you, this is record breaking for myself. I've never done 30 issues in one sitting as far as talking about them, which we'll be doing, but of course, splitting them up among three episodes.
I thought like Spider-Man going down his pants was...
that was it. That was it. 50 issues of Spider-Man just going down his own pants.
What,
Every issue got boring after
going
a while.
Down swinging, whatever it was called, whatever. Spider-Man down his pants. Wasn't that a lot of issues as well?
I think I might have hit 20 at some point. The last record breaker was Jessica Jones.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I the one making you do like a crazy amount of comics in one sitting?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can definitely say that for sure. This is the most I've ever done, and so Alias was the second most I've ever done now, which was up there. But yeah, Spider-Man was like Spider-Man. I think the longest one that was going on there was Maximum Carnage, which I think was like 16 episodes, 16 issues.
There was one when No Way Home came out that you did that was like that was like a week's worth of episodes.
Me and Benjamin J. Cologne, I'm sure we're in on that one.
Yeah. What was that? Wasn't going down his pants?
Going down his pants? I don't think so. Go down swinging, probably. But the thing is that I don't think it was anywhere near that many. It could have been Spider-Verse too. Spider-Verse was another one that we did, but I don't think it was that many. I think it might have been 12, maybe 14, but never.
What's funny is this doesn't feel like a lot to me.
Okay,
well, one, these are breezy reads. Like this, right. This was a child's read. There was nothing to this, and like that's not to say that I like reading it. I did. I actually, after the last couple of things that we've done, I kind of was like, thank God this is not that difficult to get through.
Right.
But also, I don't think I think in terms of single issues. I'm not one of your people on unspoken issues. I think in terms of trades, right? And this is 5 trades. So in that sense, yes, this is the most trades we've covered in a single show.
Yes, indeed. My goodness. But you mentioned how breezy of a read it is. That is one of the best things this series has going for it. They will allow the art to talk instead of the dialogue itself.
Yeah, this is not a wordy tome.
Right. And that's great.
I think I read 2 or 3 books Saturday night. I definitely read 2. I don't remember if I read Vader Down sometime in the evening. I might have, because I think I told Erica, go ahead and watch The Office. Leave me alone. I would like to finish reading Vader Down.
Yeah.
and then I woke up this morning and I slept. I slept like 7.5 hours. And then I was like, all right, I'm done sleeping now because I'm not a woman. And so I can't sleep forever. I'm in one of those moods. So, hi, Jesse. Are you so happy to record with me tonight?
That's perfectly fine.
So I slept 7.5 hours like a normal working human, and I was like, all right, I gotta get up now. Like I'm done sleeping. So I think I read the 3 and 4 this morning, which you're always asking like, why are we doing what we're doing?
Right.
These have been on my shelf for years.
Really?
Yeah. I want to say I got these for Christmas from Melissa one year, like when she was buying me comics for Christmas presents. It was like comics and t-shirts every year. I think when that started, she actually got me volumes 1 to 4. I don't own a copy of Vader Down, which, as an aside, want to see this? See this right here?
Yeah.
This is not Vader fucking down now, is it, Jesse? Is it?
What is that? The story of Darth Vader.
This is DK level 3, the story of Darth Vader, packed with facts you need to read.
Oh, what did you end up? Why? How did this? This is one of the ones she bought you?
This is no, but this is good because this is beginning to read alone because it's a 3. See,
I got you. When you said DK, I was like, oh, I know those books. Yep.
Yeah. So I ordered Vader Down a week or 2 ago, and it said it would get here before Father's Day, which is like great. Then I'll have the entire like physical set. Because again, I don't necessarily buy digital comics. It's hard for me to read with my eyes as opposed to read with my kneecaps, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
I can read with my eyes shut. I don't know if you knew that.
The kneecaps.
But I didn't have Vader Down, so I ordered Vader Down, and then I would have all 5 trades. And then they were like, first they were like, you're getting it like a week later than you wanted it. And I'm like, you motherfuckers. And then it arrived, and I'm like, this seems light. Like maybe this is not a very big book. And I open it up, and it's that motherfucking thing. So I got to send it now back to the stupid store.
What a pain in the ass.
Oh, my God. I don't like having to be responsible for somebody else's screw-up. They should come here and get it.
It's here. Come get it, please.
And give me back my money. As BenFold5 once said, Jesse, and I know you know this is true. Girl, you know this is true. Give me my money back, you fucking bitch. That's a real song.
All right.
Erica was singing it in the car on the way home from our Father's Day dinner at Longhorns. Let me tell you how one dinner at Longhorns, my insides liquefied. I don't know if you know that or not.
Oh, no.
You ever go to Longhorns, Jesse? I never make it home with plenty of time to go to the bathroom. It is always a goddamn emergency.
There is
Longhorns, Olive Garden, all of these fucking places order from the same salmonella-riddled fucking place. Anyway, enough about my wonderful Father's Day.
Straight to the toilet.
Yeah. So anyway, speaking of straight to the toilet, back to Darth Vader.
Mm.
So I've had these on my shelf for years. I have read volumes. First of all, I've read volume 1 like 5 times because like I started and then there's a long break and then I don't remember where in the series I am, so I have to go back and
Go
reread
back and
it
start
again.
over.
Yeah. I think I had gotten as far as the second volume before there was a little long pause again, and then we decided to do this. And I was like, so really, Source Material Live has become, because you don't get any other guests typically. It's just me and you. This is like our monthly or semi-monthly recording session where we just hang out and talk comics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what this has become? This has become Jesse reads Mark's shelf.
I'm all for helping you get through and
Yeah.
read some of your backlog. I'm all for that.
So this has been on my backlog for years now, and I'm like, it's time. So that's why we're doing it. You know, no other reason. I think I got these, and it had to have been like they were on my wish list. When after Disney bought Marvel, and then subsequently bought Lucasfilm, they had the intellectual property rights to publish Star Wars comics.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, everything prior to the Lucasfilm by Disney purchase was designated legend. So the novels, the Dark Horse comics, the original Marvel comics from back in the 80s,
70s and 80s, I think.
Yeah, that's all legends. And when everyone got done setting themselves and their rooms on fire because of this decision, Marvel said, Lucasfilm, Marvel, Disney all said, anything published now is canon.
Mm-hmm.
This is part of that run. And I actually had Fancy list all of the trade paperbacks published since the Lucasfilm purchase. It was like, this is one of the early ones. This is one of the first ones. It's the Star Wars proper series, and Darth Vader were the first. And we've done a few of these. We've done Princess Leia. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? You know what I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Ivan!
Yep.
And then we did Lando. Remember that?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
We've done Shattered Empire.
Now, Shattered Empire, of course, was the Dark Horse.
No, Shattered Empire was one of the you're thinking Dark Empire.
I'm thinking Dark Empire. Yep. Okay.
Shattered Empire. Yep, Shattered Empire was a Marvel Disney Star Wars.
Got it.
So we've done quite a few of these. So it just, I like the Darth Vader character. I believe I was on the Everyone Loves a Bad Guy episode where we talked Darth Vader before Kathleen Kennedy and her band of wicked lesbians ruined Star Wars for everyone with a penis over the age of 11.
Yeah.
I actually used to be a fan of this product, and I was a big fan of Darth Vader. So when I saw he had his own solo comic that takes place after the Battle of Yavin, which is where they blow up the Death Star in the first movie, I was like, oh, this seems like a really cool read. And every, the 12 times I read the first 2 volumes, I continued to come to that conclusion. This is a pretty cool read. So I'm glad to finally get all the way through it, read Vader Down, share it with you, and make more passive-aggressive cracks about women.
So this series comes out in 2015. We are this is 1 year after the film, right? The newest film, which would have been episode 7.
What is it? Star Wars: My Secret Diary.
Yeah.
What is it?
Force Awakens.
That's the one. The Force Awakens is 2015.
2015. So it's the same year. Okay. Yeah. Wow. All right.
Hang on. Disney purchase Lucasfilm took place in 2012.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So yeah, we're getting a story that canon takes place, focuses on Darth Vader here.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have no idea what we're going to be getting other than just a big focus on the bad, the bad guy from Empire, the bad guy from A New Hope. This is the guy, this is one of the top villains out there in movie history.
Let me help you. The last time we see Darth Vader at the end of episode 4, A New Hope, is he's spinning wildly out of frame.
Yep. Yep.
He's got Luke in his sights. They're doing the trench run, and the trench is small. It's only the size for like maybe 2.5, 3 fighters, right? Maybe because they might be overlapping a little bit. And there's nowhere for Luke to go. He only can go straight forward. And Darth Vader's like, I have you now. And it's like, this one's strung with the Force. This may or may not be my kid. I can't tell right now, and they haven't written that part of the story yet, but this one feels familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke he's in the trench, and he turned his targeting computer off, and they were like, hey, jackass,
what are you doing?
Put your pants and your computer back on. What are you doing? And Luke's like, yo, I got this. I got it, homie.
I got it, bro.
And he locks in on the exhaust port, and Darth Vader locks in on Luke, and he's got his proton torpedoes ready to blow Luke out of the trench. And he sees from behind him a TIE fighter that was accompanying him get blown up. Mm-hmm. And Darth Vader, in the funniest line delivery of the entire movie, what? Like he's an old Jewish guy. What? Somehow James Earl Jones turned into my grandpa Larry Pfeiffer. What? And then he shoots the other one, and he collides into Darth Vader, and Darth Vader goes, whoa, 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 whoa,
off he goes,
spiraling out into the next movie. So
yes, indeed.
When we pick up the story, it's like a couple years later, and the rebels have been, beaten all over the galaxy, and they've landed on Hoth, but the Empire doesn't know that. But Darth Vader's like, I want this kid. This kid is familiar to me. Not to mention the fact he blew up our giant ass space station. This fucking terrorist.
Yeah, right.
So I'm spending a lot of money, time, and resources in my single-minded pursuit of this boy who blew up the Death Star, who I think might be my kid. And that's where Empire picks up. What we're reading about is everything from the to the beginning of Empire Strikes Back.
Right. Real quick before I get into the synopsis here, mm-hmm. This hits at a nice time here in my own life where me and the kids are going through all the Star Wars films. We had Star Wars Sunday back during the pandemic, but it was just me and Kira. Like none of the boys. Colton wasn't old enough really to appreciate it at that point, and Caleb was not interested. So, and the wife just took naps. So that was her nap time. So
women need a lot of sleep, Jesse. I don't know if you know that.
It's called beauty sleep, Mark.
Yeah, like bears.
And then recently, Caleb started watching the prequels, and I just go in there. I'm like, "Oh wow, you're getting into part 2 now, huh? Oh, okay, all right." So I sat down and watched the end of that with him, and I'm like, "I want to watch the third episode 3 with you." And then from there on out, we've all watched every Star Wars film. We have one left, and that's our final one. And boy, oh boy. I just can't wait to see what Caleb has to say about our last one.
It's really funny you mentioned that because Jonas right now is actually going through all of them. He's watched the prequels. He skipped the Acolyte because he's a good boy. He actually asked me. He was like, what of the shows should I watch and what shouldn't I watch? Like, what relates directly to the movies? And I was like, just skip the Acolyte. You don't need to watch it. But watch episode 1, 2, and 3. Watch Solo. Watch Andor season 1 and 2. Watch Rogue One, then 4, 5, and 6. And he was like, right, okay. I'm like, he was like, should I watch the Clone Wars? I'm like, you can, but it's gonna take you forever though. That's a lot. The Clone Wars and Rebels are good watches. They just take forever to watch. So I think he's skipping them for now. He's gonna double back and watch them later. But he's in the middle of watching Andor right now.
Oh wow, yeah. Caleb was not having any of the series as much as I thought Andor would be great because he came away with Rogue One as being his favorite film, like me. And I will tell you that I said, be ready because we're about to, the last one we watched, which was The Last Jedi. I said, you're about to watch the most divisive Star Wars film I think that's ever happened. And he loved it. Yeah. So he was a big Rian Johnson, The Last Jedi fan.
Let me tell you how, like, this interpretation of Darth Vader that we're going to talk about tonight in these books is the Darth Vader from the last scene of Rogue One.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
All right, let's get into the synopsis here. So here we go. Bear with me because what we're going to do here, our first episode, we're going to do books 1 and 2. So our first book is just called Darth Vader, I believe. Vader, excuse me.
It's actually just called Vader, yeah.
Just Vader. And then book 2 is Shadows and Secrets. So this is actually, I'm going to do 2 synopses in a row. Sit back, grab yourself a little something to drink because it's 12 issues. I've got to cover here, and then we'll jump into our notes about what we thought of these issues and what happened in them. All right. So for our first book, Vader, in the wake of the Death Star's destruction, Darth Vader finds himself under the Emperor's critical eye, blamed for the failure and stripped of his former authority. Cast out of the Emperor's inner circle, Vader is sent to Tatooine under the guise of diplomacy, where he quickly asserts his dominance over Jabba the Hutt's criminal empire, not for the Empire's sake, but for his own purposes. This marks the beginning of Vader's secret quest to regain favor, but also to get some answers to a very important question. Vader sets out to find the mysterious rebel pilot who destroyed the Death Star, unaware at first of the boy's true identity. He enlists the aid of bounty hunters like Boba Fett and Black Chrysanthemum, even as Grand General Tag is elevated above him in the Imperial hierarchy.
Who was buried in Grant's tomb?
Grand General Tag. Tag assigns a snooping adjutant to monitor Vader, but the Sith Lord swiftly uncovers him as a spy and turns the tables. Through these early encounters, Vader proves he's not a tool to be cast aside, but a force still to be reckoned with, calculating, deadly, and relentless. To strengthen his hand, Vader recruits the brilliant and morally flexible archaeologist Doctor Aphra, who helps him reactivate deadly droids 000, a torture-loving protocol unit, and BT-1, a homicidal astromech. Together, they raid a hidden droid foundry on Geonosis, where Vader massacres a Geonosian queen and her biomechanical children to seize control of the facility. This act cements his possession of a secret droid army, his first step toward building a power base independent. Now, see, I don't know if he's working towards trying to do something to usurp the Emperor or just use this for his own devices.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he, because an element of what you need to be talking about in your plot synopsis is how the Emperor has already started selecting possible replacements for Darth Vader.
Next paragraph.
Okay, I will let you get to it then. But so Darth Vader feels his position slipping, and he needs to make himself more powerful within the Empire so that he's not so easily discarded, which is the signal he's getting from the Emperor after letting the Death Star blow up. But the other side of that is Darth Vader realizes he needs more resources to get things done. So having a droid army at his disposal gives him that.
Yeah. Vader's next move takes him to a strange biomechanical fortress created by the rogue cyberneticist Silo, who has engineered a cadre of cybernetically enhanced warriors to serve as Vader's potential replacements. Among them are twins Morit and Aolin, a cybernetic Trandoshan, and others, each designed to supplant the Sith Lord. Vader cuts through them with ruthless efficiency. He doesn't kill them all. I think he kills one, and that's the Trandoshan, maybe the lizard guy. But the Emperor intervenes, revealing that he himself sanctioned Silo's program. This is not just a test of the replacements, it's a test of Vader himself, a challenge to prove he still deserves the title of Sith Apprentice. The final revelation rocks Vader to his core. From Boba Fett, he learns the name of the boy who destroyed the Death Star, Skywalker. The name ignites a flood of memories of Padme, of the unborn child he believed lost, and of the lies the Emperor told him. Now Vader knows the truth. His son lives. Fueled by a renewed sense of purpose and rage, Vader vows not only to find Luke, but to claim him. As he stares into the vastness of space, the former Anakin Skywalker sets his sights on a new future, one where he rules not as servant, but as master. Now, I will say, I can't remember if at the end of this book, he is absolutely certain that it's his son. Of course, you hear Skywalker, he immediately was like, okay, well, something's up here.
How many fucking Skywalkers do you think there are in this galaxy?
Right, dude. Right. So I'm sure he's putting one and one together.
The boy's name is Radulich. Well, I wonder if he's related to me.
Right. We have an arc, I think, that might happen in the next 6 issues where they interrogate a mortician in order to find out that she was, Padme was definitely pregnant. So I feel like it's a situation where he's putting the things together, but he's got to be absolutely certain.
Sure.
All right. Next up, our summary for issues 7 through 12, book 2, Shadows and Secrets. Is that what it was called? Yeah, Shadows and Secrets. So as the story continues, Vader's secret mission to track down Luke Skywalker after learning his name from Boba Fett. It begins with Vader visiting the ruins of the Lars homestead on Tatooine, processing the haunting weight of his past. Dr. Aphra, ever curious and reckless, probes at Vader's motivations while they scour remnants of Luke's life. Vader confirms Luke is strong in the Force and begins maneuvering quietly outside the Empire's watchful eye, using Aphra as his agent to uncover more about the mysterious boy. Vader wages a brutal campaign against the Santul Pride, a criminal syndicate claiming their riches for the Empire while forming an uneasy alliance with Jabba the Hutt. Aphra uses this chaos as cover to orchestrate a daring heist with a team of bounty hunters, including Bosk, Black Chrysanthemum, and IG-90, stealing Imperial credits from a convoy. Their success is nearly unraveled by tensions among the crew, but Aphra keeps them in line. The loot is stashed on Anthon 13, where Vader arrives, issuing her a new task: find the truth about the boy who destroyed the Death Star. Through a violent raid on Naboo, Aphra captures and interrogates Comodex Han, the mortician who prepared Padme Amidala's body, confirming she gave birth before death. Aphra withholds this full truth from Vader, revealing only that Amidala meant a great deal to the mortician. Now, I don't think that's the case. That might have got mistaken when it wrote here, because then she ends up telling him, if I remember correctly. So either way, Vader finds out. Okay, Vader gets this news, but now he's also saddled with a new Imperial inspector. This guy is named Inspector Thanos, a brilliant investigator sent by Tag to uncover the theft of the Santul credits. Thanos. Yeah, snap. Thanos.
Isn't it Thanos?
I'm sure it's Thanos. I'm probably making it. We'll go with Thanos because it definitely sounds like I just can't say Thanos.
Thanos.
That's Thanos.
I've been drinking and eating peanut butter.
Thanos immediately suspects Vader's involvement, but plays a careful game as they close in on the underworld broker known as the Ante. Aphra narrowly escapes a trap Vader pretends not to see coming, which is not really a trap. It's more along the lines of oh, okay, it looks like she died. Or no, wait a second. He plays it off as a trap to Thanos. And when in fact, I think he was the one that just kind of caused it to happen in order for her to get away. Anyway, as Vader and Thanos oh, here we go. Press their advantage. They abandon the hunt for Aphra in favor of destroying the Plasma Devils, a dangerous rebel cell. Vader personally wipes out key members while allowing Thanos to believe it was all part of the plan. Meanwhile, Aphra reconnects with Vader, revealing Luke's last known location, Rogus Voss, and narrowly avoiding death. Yet someone else is watching. General Carbon, a cybernetic Mon Calamari officer with his own ambitions, also one of the ones that was working for Silo, is plotting a confrontation with Vader, Luke, and perhaps a reckoning of his own. And by the end of issue 12, Vader's hunt has turned deeply personal. He now knows Padme bore a child, his child, and the pieces of Luke's past are beginning to align with his future. But with Tag, Carmid, and Thanos circling, Vader's secret may soon erupt into something far more dangerous. So there you go. That is a synopsis for all 12 issues of our first two books, Vader and Secrets and Shadows. So I'll go ahead and start with my notes here. And I won't, I put a bunch on here, but I'm not going to have to go through all of them. But I mean, we get some great new characters here. We get Doctor Aphra.
What a cute tushy she has. Huh?
I mean, what do you think of Doctor Aphra here?
I think Doctor Aphra is a fun character. Why they gave her her own book, I'll never know. I mean, she ended up with her own book.
She's like 6 volumes worth of comics. So you figure,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hang on, let me bring up Fancy for 1 second, because I think I hung on to this just in case I needed it for this conversation.
Yeah.
I had it go through and tell me all of the
trades that came out. So there are 13 trades for the Star Wars series 2015 through 2017. There's Darth Vader 2015 to 2017, which is what we're talking about tonight, and that includes Vader Down. Kanan, there are 2 volumes. That's 2015, 2016. Doctor Aphra, 6 volumes.
6 volumes.
Yeah.
Man.
This has a sequel series, Star Wars Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, 2017 through 2018. That's 4 volumes. Then they did a Star Wars relaunch, and that's 20 to 2023, and that's 9 volumes. Then there's the Dark Lord of the Sith relaunch, 2020 to 2023, and that's 7 volumes.
Jeez, criminy.
Yeah. The Dark Lord of I already said that one. The High Republic, there are 3 volumes in Phase 1. Phase 2 is 2 volumes. Phase 3 is 2 volumes. Then there's a shitload of sequels, miniseries, and one-shots, some of which we've already done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, they must have really liked her. I mean, I thought she was okay. I thought it was nice to have somebody who was running alongside Vader, and she kind of knew her place.
She plays off Vader well. She's kind of a funny, sexy version of Otis, from the Superman comics or Superman movies, where he plays off a Lex Luthor. He Lex Luthor has kind of his toady.
Yeah.
To go do his dirty work, but where like Otis is like stupid and oafish and kind of comic relief. Doctor Aphra is smart and capable and sultry, but also kind of funny. Because they played Darth Vader up as, and it's such a weird thing, and I definitely needed to talk to you about this. It's very much, they keep saying he's more machine now than he is man. The last time we see Hayden Christensen as this character, he's half burnt up.
Right.
On the shores of the lava at Mustafar. And when he was there, he was really like an emotional character. Like he just choked out Padme because he thought she was fucking Obi-Wan. Right. And Obi-Wan, after years of their friendship and partnership and mentorship, has like, you are trying to bang my wife, who I went to the dark side for. You are a terrible human being, an awful trainer and mentor, and everything about my life that's bad is your fault. That's his point of view. And that whole fight on Mustafar is basically like, if I kill you, my problems will instantly get better.
Yeah, like that'll solve everything.
Right. And Obi-Wan Kenobi is just like, I did none of those things. You're a psycho. Like, please come back from, it's not even like the dark side. Please come back from the brink of insanity.
Right.
There's no possible way any of that's true. That's the whole like subtext of their fight. Which is not the Darth Vader you see in A New Hope. He's not emotional. He's ruthless. He has no respect for life. It's like he gets into discussions with the other Moffs, which goes something like, Lord Vader, we think you're kind of an idiot and your religion is stupid and ancient. And he's like, well, I hear what you're saying, but that's how he wins fights. It's like, right. I don't have a coherent argument to counter with, so I'll just joke a bit.
Yeah. This is is this old? Is this dusty religion too much for you? Okay, sorry, you're going to die now.
Right. So, but again, I would not. The Anakin we see in Mustafar is not the Darth Vader that we see in the movies. And it's funny because I was reading this comic and they played Darth Vader like you see him in the movies. Cold, calculating, kind of robotic, a little autistic. He's very concrete. And he has no patience for it. The one thing I do like about this character, which I think is kind of hilarious, he has no patience for anybody. None.
Yeah.
And he knows just how much of a badass he is. Like, he knows he can kill people with no thought at all. He can just do it. And there's nobody that can stop him. And so he's just like, you're going to do what I say or I'll kill you. That's the way that, like, he's like the best mafia boss ever. Yeah. Like, this is going to happen or you die. There's I have no conscience holding me back. My problem is I'm missing the pages in between. Because you can say, like, well, getting put in the armor did that to him. No, it didn't. What his first reaction when he's told Padme is dead? No! Which is goofy as fuck.
Yeah.
But it's goofy as fuck because it's James Earl Jones doing it. So he has to be like, no, Simba, no. It's like, that was a terrible idea. But he's still, like, if it didn't sound goofy as fuck, he's still, like, emotional. He's still like, oh my God, like, I freaked out and did a domestic violence. I didn't mean to kill her. And the Emperor, knowing exactly how to push his buttons because Anakin's half a dope, is like,
yeah,
she's dead now. You killed her. I guess you better follow me to the dark side.
Mm-hmm. Come on in, come on in.
I guess there's nothing left for you except to do my bidding. So, I just wish there had been more of the Anakin emotionality in Darth Vader and him learning, and you get to see him kind of kill that part of him as opposed to what we saw, which I don't think is bad. I just feel like there's a reel of footage missing. Yeah,
we get a glimpse into a little bit of that, like probably I think it's the second to last issue, but there's none of that ahead of this. The only real emotional thing you kind of see him.
I know what you're talking about. The part that he kills the Anakin inside of him,
right?
So that he doesn't have like this like mental block anymore. But then there should have been more of his emotionality coming out and him going, if I kill that part of myself, the Anakin part of myself, and all that's left is the mechanical, cyborg, cold Darth Vader self, then I'll progress. I'll be good. I'll be my next best self.
Yeah.
That's what they're getting at, but there's not enough contrast in the character.
No, there's I mean, I get what you're saying. There could be something that fleshes that out. I mean, really what this series and kind of like these first set of books are focusing on is he has this drive as far as emotionality goes. Luke is the emotion really here for him. Like he is driven to find out who this is. Now, as we don't know what his plans are, we find out obviously in an Empire that he's going to try and get him to join him. Come, we'll rule the galaxy together. But what we're getting here is just his one laser focused. I have to find this bit of, I don't know. It's not like he's sitting there thinking to himself. We don't get a lot of insight into what's going through his head. But as the reader, you're thinking, well, okay, maybe this is his last tie to his humanity. He's trying, now he realizes he has a son. Maybe he can accept this son and finally, is there hope for Darth Vader here? Who knows?
I assume this is they wrote for the audience they thought they were getting. Like, this is not really meant for big, for old, deep thinkers. This is kind of a child's book. This is meant for my son's age, 10, 11, 12, 13. And they're not going to ask for that level of depth in the character.
Right. Well, I mean, I completely get what you're saying there. So Doctor Aphra,
which is who you asked me about. So again, the point that I was trying to get at in a very circuitous way was because Darth Vader's a walking piece of wood. You have to have her kind of there, like dancing around him and being silly and funny and comical, to lighten the book up a bit and to also provide the contrast to Darth Vader that you wouldn't get.
Yeah.
Somebody needs. She's the John Connor to his Terminator.
Mm-hmm. Well, the likability of Dr. Aphra is also kind of like hinted at the fact that it's kind of tragic that she's paired with Darth Vader. In these few early issues, I mean, she knows at some point she's going to die because Darth Vader is probably going to kill her. Now she's hoping that throughout this whole adventure that they get to do together here, that she might be able to sway him to not kill her.
You know where she would have fit in well? Sons of Anarchy.
Okay, all right.
She's always thinking 2 and 3 steps ahead. And she honestly, Jack should have married her, not Tara. Because she's always thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. She's always trying to plot on multiple levels. She's always trying to like gain an advantage over Darth Vader or the Emperor or somebody else. Like she's always got a couple of irons in the fire going, and it's all survival based. It is all
she's trying to stay alive.
I'm just trying to stay alive in a world where I don't have a tremendous amount of power.
Right. And she knows, Vader his reputation is very well known throughout the galaxy.
Yeah, he's Chief Chocobitch.
He is. 000 and BT1, man. Fun additions to this. Come on. I mean, I
would have preferred more Doctor Aphra than the
homicidal droids.
The emo dark side fucking evil twin version of C-3PO and R2-D2.
Oh.
Which I swear to God that I felt like that was an editorial note. Like, this book needs more comedy, and it was like the laziest thing to think of. Like, what if C-3PO and R2-D2 with the same exact characters, but they're both homicidal? Okay. It was a joke that wore thin very quickly with me.
Oh no, I was having a blast.
You and I are not the same person.
Oh, dude, so, some of the stuff that happens in the later issues, it's good, especially when we get to Vader Down. There's some good stuff in there. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was okay. I do understand like a criticism of like, okay, let's, we got to have C-3PO and R2-D2 here, but you can't have them be good guys.
So you've heard the whole thing with George Lucas where like the stars of Star Wars was in his mind, because he's also a robot, was supposed to be C-3PO and R2-D2. Like Han, Luke, and Leia were not supposed to be in any. We're not supposed to be in the sequels. No, it was Anakin's the first chapter, Luke is the second chapter, and the third chapter is like Luke's kid or something like that. Was I think how he initially had it planned. But your POV characters through the whole 9 episodes were supposed to be C-3PO and R2-D2, as I recall. And he was like George Lucas's conception of or perception of R2-D2 and C-3PO were like they were the most important characters in this whole story. And it's like they're not. That's you being a weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because of that, because he sets the tone, and everyone at the end of the day is just trying to stay true to George Lucas's vision. It's like, well, if we're gonna have these droid characters in the book, they have to be the focal point. They have to be like big players in this. I'm like, you don't. Oh my God, these are the worst characters. Focus more on Doctor Aphra. Here's the thought: focus more on Darth Vader.
They had a whole. I think they may have had a series. Did you read anything that said that they had a series? It might have been a one shot. Probably a one shot.
Here is the list of miniseries or one shot. Yvonne, Princess Leia, Lando, Shattered Empire, Han Solo and Chewbacca, Volumes 1 and 2, Obi-Wan, A Jedi's Purpose, The Mandalorian, Volumes 1 and 2, Hidden Empire, Yoda, The High Republic, The Blade, Santa, Staros, Family Matters, Return of the Jedi, 40th Anniversary, one shots, Darth Vader, Black, White, and Red, The Mandalorian, Season 2, Part 1 and 2, Dark Droids and D Squad. Maybe that's what you're thinking of?
Dark Droids and D Squad.
Yeah, that's the name of my porno.
The D Squad has arrived.
We are the D Squad. Obi-Wan Kenobi, trade paperback, The High Republic, Shadows of Starlight, Thrawn, Alliances, Mace Windu, The Twilight Run, Jango Fett, Trail of Lost Hope, Darth Maul, Black, White, and Red, Inquisitors, and Ahsoka. Okay.
Well, yeah, it might be that droid one you've listed there. Well, hey, I had a good time. I think they add a little bit here. So the second book, I think, has like a big the thing I compared it to here was Ocean's 11, like a heist sort of, where Vader is trying to gather up all this money, right, in order to pay these bounty hunters. So he, I think, takes money from the Fets, or no, it wasn't the Fets. It was
he stole from the Empire.
Well, the way
money that was stolen from the Empire, he then stole.
Right. Yeah, he then goes reclaims it and then
Right.
sends out some guys as it's being taken back to the Empire to Aphra and her bounty hunters go in there and steal those funds. Then they're going to use those funds to pay bounty hunters. And anyway, I mean, Vader is obviously trying to play. He's just trying to get away with some stuff so he can fund his own, his own vision here.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have Inspector.
Yes, he was trying to steal the guns that the Irish had sold the bikers.
Yes. Sons of Vader.
That would have been an awesome comic. All guys riding around on like space motorcycles. It says Sons of Vader.
Oh, yes.
Fucking face there.
Oh, yes. Thanos, though, he's on to him. This is one thing that kind of, as we get towards the end of these first 6-ish or 12 issues.
There are some lines that he gives where it's like, in another world, he just looked at Darth Vader and be like, "It's a good thing you're cute."
Dude, he knows he knows every step that Darth Vader's taking, but he does not want to let Vader know right now. So instead, he's just like, "Oh, geez, why didn't I think of that? It's fucking Columbo or whatever." Why didn't I think of that? And then he knew that beforehand.
Right.
I thought, okay, well, these two are going to have a reckoning at some point. They don't have it here, but it's going to happen sometime soon. I'm rooting for Aphra. I mean, I'm hoping Aphra makes it out alive in this pairing with Darth Vader at this point.
I think she's an essential part of the book.
Yeah. I don't think I have much of anything else here. What did you have on your plate that you wanted to, anything else that you had?
I like that. I like the Emperor's attitude towards Vader is you fucking bumbling moron. First of all, you come to me about saving your whore, and I tell you, well, if you just kill a bunch of babies, you'll learn how to save her life, and then you pick a fight with fucking Obi-Wan and lose, and I gotta come save your ass. All right, you resounding disappointment. Sounds like my dad talking to me. So I'm already like identifying with Darth Vader. Like,
goodness!
I know also what it's like, Darth Vader, to constantly disappoint your father. And then it's like, all right, well, it's fine. You're Darth Vader now, and you have this mechanical suit, and we're gonna get past all this. And hey, wait a minute, weren't you in charge of this giant ass battle station that cost an enormous amount of time and money? This was our thing. It's hard to look. We got rid of the Senate. It's hard to hold everything together. It's a big galaxy, man. I'm holding on by a fucking thread here, and you let a bunch of terrorists, some farm boy, with his no computer on, no pants. He just blows the whole thing up. How could you let this happen? You literally have the entire weight of the military with you. You're a goddamn magic fucking swordsman, and you have this giant ass military. There's literally no reason why you could let one single terrorist fucking fly in and blow up my giant ass battle station. The one thing I have to control the universe with. One. And he's like, maybe I put a little too much faith in you. And I'm just like, because much like Chris Rock once said, I just have such a need for things to make sense to me, and I could absolutely see someone reacting that way.
Oh yeah,
everything the Emperor said to me was like, yeah, that's
logical, right?
Yeah, that is exactly how he should be reacting. He's like, maybe I put too much faith in you. Maybe you're not what I think you are. Maybe let's get some other people in here and see if they can do a better job than you. And then there's Darth Vader going, I killed my wife. I lost my baby. I got beat in a fight by my best friend and turned into a cyborg monster. I killed a bunch of babies. It's my fault all the Jedi are gone. I've got nothing. And if I lose this gig, I'm not only the most reviled man in the galaxy, but I have no backup anymore. Like, Darth Vader can hold his own, obviously. But think about that. Like, what makes Darth Vader is he's kind of the sword of the Empire. And if you take that away from him, now he's just a guy who, like, there's plenty of Jedis on the run in this universe. It's a weird thing. Because, like, if you read, like, the legacy stuff, the legend stuff, like, the novels, But even some of the other comics, they talk about how not just because you're a Jedi doesn't mean you're all powerful and can kick all kinds of ass all the time. Plenty of Jedis get dead.
Yeah.
Plenty of Jedis have to go on. Like, there's a reason why Yoda, like, as it said, there's a reason why Yoda went into hiding. Like, there's only so much the Force is going to help you. And so you take the Empire away from Vader, and what's he got left? And he knows that he's not stupid, not as stupid as he's made out to be. So he's like, okay, I can see the ice beneath my feet starting to break. Let me make some moves here. Let me throw what little weight I do have around and create a little safety net for myself, because I can already see the Emperor's like fucking up to here with me.
Yeah,
that's all really good stuff. Like, I think there's space for a better book here, but I don't know if there's an audience demanding a better book. So I think for what we got is actually pretty solid.
Do you have any thoughts about our Silo and his cybernetic? I don't know if they're not Jedis.
It's Bobby Heenan's Monster Factory.
Right. The powers of pain.
It's just people for Darth Vader to cut through, because he needs villains. He needs bad guys to cut through.
I mean, Silo, we learn later, and I don't know, maybe it happened. We find out in this in these issues, but he was the one that had helped create the suit that Darth Vader is using. Now that's going to come into play.
And the Emperor doesn't let any moment to fucking throw that in Darth Vader's
Nope, no way. Okay, all right. Well, that's all I have. Do you have anything else that you wanted to say before we go to the next one?
It's literally been an hour. It's been in like 30 minutes since we started talking just about the book. I'm gonna let you move on.
Let's move on. Let's get into Vader Down.
Vader, Jesse,
Down. This was a total of 6 issues, starting with Vader Down number 1, Darth Vader 13, 14, and 15, and Star Wars issues 13 and 14.
Okay.
So here we go. The Vader Down storyline is a high-stakes crossover event that begins with Darth Vader entering the fray over the remote planet Vrogus Voss. Hoping to find Luke Skywalker, Vader instead collides headlong with an overwhelming rebel fleet. Now, mind you, this isn't in the synopsis, I don't think, but Aphra said, yeah, Vrogus Voss. He's like, okay, I'm heading there. And then when he gets there, he is right smack dab in front of like a bunch of X-Wings.
Well, yeah, he gets shot down over this planet.
Right. Undeterred by the odds, he tears through their forces with terrifying precision until a desperate Luke, actually it's Luke, who senses his presence and also, well, actually, I know, people probably told him, holy crap, it's Darth Vader. He rams his X-Wing into Darth Vader's tie. They collide.
Dude, Luke is the best character because he's kind of a dope.
Oh, yeah.
But he's like a fearless dope, which is the worst kind of dope, but also the most awesome kind of dope because he's just like, well, I can't, there's nothing I can do, and Vader's a huge threat. Ramming speed.
I'm taking him down.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
He is going down right now. Yeah. I'm ending this now.
Yeah.
Sending both of them spiraling towards the planet below. The rebels scramble ground troops to eliminate Vader once and for all, believing they have the upper hand. What follows is anything but a rebel victory. Vader survives the crash and proceeds to annihilate squadron after squadron, wielding the Force with lethal mastery. He's soon surrounded by an army, but responds with a line that defines this arc. All I am surrounded by is fear and dead men. Meanwhile, Leia, Han, and Chewbacca join the pursuit, although personal motives like Han's concern for Luke complicate the mission. Vader's secret ally, Doctor Aphra, races to assist, bringing along her sadistic droids, 000 and BT-1, who gleefully torture and torment anyone in their path. Luke, meanwhile, explores ancient Jedi ruins on Vrogus Voss and begins to connect with the Force on a deeper level until Aphra ambushes and captures him. Han and Chewbacca arrive just in time to mount a rescue, leading to chaotic battles with Aphra, her droids, and even a swarm of wasp worms. Amid the chaos, Leia spearheads a desperate assault to end Vader once and for all, willing to sacrifice herself. But just as her fleet closes in, unexpected TIE fighter reinforcements arrive, not summoned by Vader, but by Carbon, the rival Imperial cyborg with his own designs on seizing power and claiming Luke. As Vader and Carbon clash in a dramatic lightsaber duel, stormtroopers attempt to abduct Luke, forcing the rebels to regroup again. 000 and BT-1 switch allegiances once more to assist Aphra and switch allegiances, but they're helping Aphra in retrieving Luke, turning their guns on Carbon's forces. Eventually, Vader defeats Carbon in brutal fashion, reasserting his dominance. Aphra, attempting to curry favor, helps destroy Carbon's remaining forces, yet the battle isn't over. Luke is captured again, only for Vader to tear the shuttle back down to the surface using the Force, unwilling to lose his son. In the final act, alliances fray and desperation peaks. Aphra tries to leverage the heroes for her own protection, only to be knocked out and taken prisoner by Leia. With the Falcon repaired and the team reunited, they flee Vrogas Voss, leaving behind the ruins of a Jedi temple and the ominous figure of Vader watching silently as his son escapes once more. The story closes with a powerful sense of unresolved tension. Vader's pursuit continues. Luke's questions linger, and the war grinds on, bloodier and more personal than ever. This was a great story. I like this story a lot. Yeah. And I think this has the moment, it's in the synopsis, that it defines why I like this series. And that is Vader surrounded by all of those rebel troops, and they all have his guns trained on their guns trained on him. And, he's just like, I sent that picture to Caleb. I was like, dude, this is, Caleb immediately comes back, and you probably heard this term. I don't know. He immediately sends back one word, aura. And I was like, yep, I guess he does have the aura. Vader does have the aura. So and the fact that we get, we have no idea what's really going on in the Star Wars book other than, okay, now these two are kind of crossing over at this moment. And there's that moment where Vader is just so close, but then, Luke gets away. And watching all of our characters kind of mix it up with our heroes from the films that we know and love that we really didn't get in here, where it's all been kind of villains and some familiar faces every once in a while, like Boba Fett, and Darth Vader, obviously. Mm-hmm. But yeah, our heroes show up here and they're mingling, and we got Han Solo, we got Leia, we got Chewbacca and Black Chrysanthemum go at it. The droids are going, the droids face each other, which is funny. There's some good moments in here, but I'll go ahead and step back. What are your thoughts?
I really like this crossover. I think first of all, I think it's an elevator pitch. What if Darth Vader were to crash land on a rebel base and he's just surrounded by a planet full of rebels? What would you do? But this also leads to one of my major problems with the Darth Vader character post Disney Lucasfilm purchase is, and I'll go all the way back to, how far back, Jesse?
Way, way back.
To Space Tours, Star Tours.
Star Tours.
So I know you've never left your house.
Nope.
Okay. So you've never been on the Star Tours ride. Never
been on the Star Tours, but I've heard of it.
So it's a simulator, right? You sit in individual seats, and it's like, like 6 or 7 across per simulator, and there's a couple of different simulator rooms. And it used to be that you would go to a couple of different planets, and it's always a different planet with each time you ride it. But the beginning is always the same. You're going on a vacation, but then Darth Vader shows up with the stormtroopers, and there's a rebel, because one of the tourists on the ride is a rebel spy. Darth Vader is commandeering your ship, and you have to, and your little Star Tours astromech guy is trying to get the fuck away from Darth Vader. That's the whole ride, right?
Okay.
But it starts with them trying to get away from Darth Vader, and Darth Vader just force grabs you and shakes you a bit, and you're trying to pull away, and he's shaking you. And that's the first time they really overpowered Darth Vader. To where, if he had that kind of power in Star Wars, A New Hope, I don't understand why he didn't throw Obi-Wan Kenobi out of a wall.
Right.
Like, if you have enough power that you can hold a spaceship, do you know how much rocket power you need to launch a spaceship, Jesse? A lot.
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit. And this motherfucker could just hold you with his mind, like, yeah, okay. In that case, why are you having such an old time with old rickety fucking Alec Guinness?
Yeah.
I'm like, he's a Jedi, and if you strike him down, he'll become more. Get the fuck out of here. But I'll tell you where this whole Star Wars thing really lost me was the Acolyte. It lost me well before the Acolyte, where I finally threw my hands up, famously. It was on this very show, as a matter of fact, not source material, but it was on my podcast. It was myself, I believe, Ronnie Adams of the Screaming Boy podcast, and David, and we were talking Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I said, and it's they ended the Obi-Wan Kenobi series with them throwing mountains at each other.
Oh, I remember you talking about. See, I've never seen the series, but I remember you saying that, and I was like, "What?"
They are picking up giant chunks of a mountain and chucking them at each other. Like when Thanos throws a planet at Tony Stark, he does it once. And it has considerable impact. And oh, by the way, he had a god glove.
Yeah. Right.
So, like, I accepted it from Thanos the one time, right? But, like, these motherfuckers are just hardcore throwing, like, chunks of mountain at each other. And I'm like, if you're that powerful, how does anyone deal with you? How are you not, why are you at all conquerable? Like, and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about because you read comic books. You have a comic book podcast from what I understand.
Right.
Okay, so you've heard the two words before. They did not open for Metallica in 1989 at the Nassau Coliseum. That word is power creep, where you get so powerful over an extended amount of time that by the end of it, there's no dramatic tension anymore. There's no way you can be stopped, and you have to do mental gymnastics in order to come up with a way to stop somebody that powerful to the point where your whole story loses credulity. That's my biggest problem with Vader Down. I think it's an awesome story if this wasn't the same guy who can throw mountains and hold spaceships.
You can make a wrestling analogy as well. When people start kicking out of finishers.
I hit you with a Canadian destroyer, the Canadian destroyer off the top of a Hell in the Cell into an ordinary drinking glass. Observe.
2.
Like a full kip up, like let's go, motherfucker.
It's like, fuck? Things start to lose their credibility and believability when that starts happening.
So Vader Down's a really fun story with no dramatic tension. There's no way Vader gets out of this. Like that scene from Rogue One that everyone loves is a great scene because the last time you saw Darth Vader, no. So, this is image rehabilitation, which is why I like it so much.
You're right.
But it's also just a bunch of soldiers in a hallway. And he's just throwing them everywhere, and his ability to deflect lasers, that's just like this weird power thing to give all the Jedis. I don't understand why anyone shoots Jedis anymore. Why would you bother?
Don't shoot. Don't waste your bullets.
They'd have had an easier time punching him. They just dogpile to Darth Vader. Put your penis in him. Do something. He can't stop us all. Like that kind of thing. Just, why are you shooting him? He can deflect everything. So make him squeal. So let's finish the one.
No!
The one thing that the Force can't protect me from economy.
Oh, jeez.
Not enforceable by law. Anyway, anywho, moving on. My point is, like, I like the Vader storyline, the Vader Down storyline. I like the setup. I like the premise of it, and some of the character interactions. Like the stuff with Han's really funny.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about what a fucking cunt Princess Leia is? By the way.
Okay. All right.
like just Luke's in trouble. We should go get him. Han says to Leia, and Leia's like, we have bigger concerns. Okay, the whole rebellion to take care of. Like, really? The hero of the rebellion, the guy who blew up the Death Star, he's not even a little important to you? Does it seem like they wrote her as a little too callous?
I could see where you're coming from there. I mean, she does end up getting involved at least
by force.
Yeah, she has to go down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
they make Han a little too virtual signally, and they make Leia a little too cunty. Like I'm not wild about the way their characters were handled in this.
I don't know about Han. I mean, I don't know what threw me off. There wasn't really anything that threw me off.
My interpretation of Han in this book is he is madly in love with Luke Skywalker. He's like, I gotta go get him. This is the most important thing ever. And it stood out to me because Leia was so awful about it.
Well, I was going to say that happens right at the beginning of Empire too. Like he's got to go out and find Luke, and of course he finds him, and after the snow monster attacked him. But
I think it made a little bit more sense to me, and it didn't feel as much like Han was in love with Luke. It was like, it's dark, it's an ice planet, he's freeze to death. There's a good chance, even if he's not already dead, he'll be dead by morning. What are we doing here?
Yeah. I've got my favorite moments in this. I already talked about the absolute.
To your point,
favorite.
It feels like the writers took that stuff from Hoth, misunderstood it, and just did their own take on it.
And then and then amped it up a little bit.
It's like somebody doing a metal song of a Simon and Garfunkel song. Or covering Simon and Garfunkel. It's like, it's just like at the zoo. Like, all right, let's get Five-Finger Death Punch in here. At the zoo. Like, the fuck, it doesn't need to be that heavy.
Right.
So many Simon and Garfunkel songs I could have done for that bit. I went with At the Zoo.
Perfect.
Could have done I Am a Rock, I Am an Island. Could have done, so many other Simon and Garfunkel songs, Jesse.
Well, it would not have registered on my dial one way or the other because I have no idea what I don't know too many Simon and Garfunkel songs at all.
Should we do like a Metal Hammer of Doom jukebox on one day?
Yeah, that sounds like it fits perfectly for that show.
Yeah, Mick will wear just a bra; it'll be fine.
Well, okay. I was going to say
she made that offer. I'm not making that up.
Oh my goodness!
No,
then
she said she was going to do that on Damn You Hollywood. She was just going to show up in a bra and not sell it at all.
Okay, all right. I think I know which show she was talking about too.
Yes.
Well, okay. Favorite moments here. There is the meeting of the droids.
Yeah.
Where R2 meets up with BT1, and R2 does his little shock thing, like he's going to try and threaten BT1.
Yeah, it's a Crocodile Dundee moment. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Guns. These machine guns come out of this thing.
That was a quality comedy moment.
Yeah, and then R2 is just astromeching his ass on out of there.
I believe R2 went yoinks and like zoomed out.
The guy. One of the things that always is always funny about R2. There's another moment in here that you kind of see this through the films as well. R2 is always like known as a foul-mouthed like droid. Like you can't understand a word he says.
R2D2 is from Baltimore. R2D2 is like Muddy Be Green.
I think it's 000 is like, oh my gosh, you have a foul mouth. It's like that was pretty funny.
R2D2, what do you think about this? It's like, ain't no thing.
Oh, R2. R2,
how do you feel about this situation? Fuck your mother. That's how I feel about the situation. Oh, my stars and goddess.
Oh my. Then we have Aphra versus Han, where they're shooting at each other and the wasp worms are above each other's heads. Yes. And then they get them on themselves and they're running frantically and then run into each other and knock each other out, which is like...
the editor was giving out this assignment, was the aesthetic Benny Hill?
I know, dude. I was laughing. I was like, this is fun stuff.
I kept thinking about like Flash Gordon, the princess. No, not the ball worms.
We have a moment where there's Vader versus Leia, where she's about ready to sacrifice herself. She's just like telling her fleet to drop the bombs on her and Vader at the same time, which was pretty cool.
I have to say, Vader Down does a really good job of reminding you that war is a very serious thing and people have to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
Like I've been joking about it and being light, but like I think there's an undercurrent of that they know the seriousness of what they're involved with and what the stakes are, and if they have to blow them, like suicide bomb themselves in order to take out Vader, when then the ends justify the means, and I think that's an interesting take for this book.
Right. That's kind of all I have here. I mean, we get the Wookiee brawl here where it's Chrysanthemum versus Chewbacca. Chewbacca's weakened by some kind of neurotoxin that 000 hit him with. And then C-3PO losing his arms to 000 was pretty funny because 000 gets his arms ripped off by Chewbacca. And then later on down the line, 000 runs into C-3PO. And C-3PO, he's just, he's a poor little wet rag, and he's essentially like, "Oh, what do you need?" And they're like, "We'll take your arms," and they take his arms. So 000 is now walking with golden arms, which is pretty cool. But anyway, that's kind of all I have here. I really did enjoy Vader Down. I thought it was all right. You got anything else there?
No, I'm good.
All right. Let's roll right into our last. How many issues is this going to be? 16 through 25. So it's almost 10, 11, something like that. So it's issues, and we got the Vader annual in there, or Darth Vader annual in there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Our first book is going to be, what the hell did I do that for?
The Short-Term War.
Yeah, I did something backwards. Anyway, let's try that again. Short-Term War.
If there's no gag reel for this episode, I quit.
I have said thing. By the time this airs, I've never said anything incorrect at all. And that's what's crazy.
Okay. You can't gaslight me, Jesse. I was here for this.
I'll be like, Mark, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've said everything. I enunciated everything perfectly.
I, Jesse Appalachia Starcher, speak the King's English.
You damn right I do. There was a conversation tonight about pronouncing the word golf. My son was gaslighting everybody, thinking that he was making us think that he said it wrong. And no, what I've learned about is that he is a master rage baiter. He does shit on purpose to make you mad or get upset about something when he already knew what exactly you were talking about.
Nice.
Him and Mongo.
Him and Jonah should hang out.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the Short-Term War here. On the volcanic world of Short-Term, Darth Vader is sent to secure the planet's loyalty to the Empire following the destruction of the Death Star. The planet is ruled by King Trios and his children, including Princess Trios, who is underestimated by her father. Vader arrives during a lavish celebration and is unimpressed by the pomp. When the gathering is attacked by rebel forces, Vader fights back with ruthless efficiency as the traitorous Dukes conspire to kill Vader and the king. Vader saves Princess Trios during a dramatic escape through molten tunnels and witnesses, I say save, Princess tries to repay that by putting a blaster in through his back, but he turns around and takes her hand off. Vader saves Princess Trios during a dramatic escape through molten tunnels and witnesses the king's betrayal of his own daughter. After the king's death, engineered by Vader's droids, Vader crowns Trios as queen, warning her to remember whom she serves. Now, this is what took place in the annual. These next few parts are what happened between 16, 17, 18, and 19. The story shifts to the full-scale Short-Term War. Vader is tasked by Emperor Palpatine to crush the rebellion of the Ore Barons and support Queen Trios. With brutal precision, Vader orchestrates a devastating assault, using experimental weaponry, destroying an ancient citadel and instilling fear. Tensions rise between Trios and Vader as she demands public respect while submitting to the Empire's will in private. Their uneasy alliance is cemented in a moment of compromise. Vader allows her symbolic authority while she agrees not to challenge him publicly. The war escalates with Baron Rubix's forces desecrating a sacred site, prompting Vader and Trios to retaliate. Vader personally leads a strike on an enemy vessel, showcasing his power and disdain for mercy. Meanwhile, Silo and his enhanced agents, including the twin warriors Moritz and Aelin, grow restless under Vader's shadow. As the rebellion intensifies, political tensions boil with Short-Term's court. Trios, proving her mettle, executes her traitorous, I put that in quotes, chancellor, and takes full command, vowing to crush the Ore Barons' revolt. Vader's campaign turns into a deadly game of manipulation and betrayal. The enhanced twins betray Vader but are swiftly defeated. Morit actually kills Aelin in a desperate move, only for Vader to extract her dying confession implicating Silo. As Vader's troops, led by sadistic droids 000 and BT, terrify the battlefield with rumors of blood-draining engines, Trios rallies her forces. Together they take on Baron Rubix's citadel. Trios shows no mercy, executing Rubix and installing his daughter as a more pliable Baroness, using manipulation over tradition, something Vader silently respects. In the war's aftermath, Queen Trios asserts herself as a shrewd and calculating ruler under the Empire's thumb. Vader leaves behind imperial oversight to ensure continued loyalty. As they part ways, Trios questions if she was the right choice to rule. Vader offers only a cryptic response. Meanwhile, Vader receives a message from Inspector Thanath that Doctor Aphra, his rogue ally, has finally been found. Remember, she got taken prisoner by, or at least captured by Princess Leia. As the Shu-Torun War closes, Vader's next mission looms, but his grip on power has never been more absolute or more feared. And then as we get into our final book, End of Games, this is issues 20 through 25. The final arc of the 2015 series, Vader's secret machinations and his loyalty to the Empire are tested one last time. It begins with a reckoning. Palpatine reveals the full extent of his manipulations, confessing he allowed Silo and his cybernetic candidates to thrive as a test for Vader. Vader is sent to finish what remains of Silo's rebellion, but first he confronts Inspector Thanath, who has
Inspector Thanath. Inspector Thanath. I'll get you, Gadget.
Next time. Who has deduced Vader's interest in Luke Skywalker. Thanath, loyal to the idea of the Empire more than its current leadership, and trusts Aphra's location to Vader, then allows himself to be executing for knowing too much. Vader hunts Aphra across the galaxy, sending 000 BT and Black Chrysanthemum to find her. Meanwhile, Vader launches a full assault on Silo's grotesque biomechanical fleet. The confrontation with Void Gazer and her cybernetic Rancor demonstrates science's limits against the Force. Even as the enemy infiltrates the Executor and cripbles its systems, Vader disables the threat through sheer will, destroying Void Gazer and reclaiming control. In space, he personally battles Morit, the last of Silo's super soldier candidates, and dispatches him in the void above the planet. Silo's final gambit, using a kill switch he implanted in Vader's cybernetics, is almost successful. But within a symbolic dreamscape, Vader overcomes haunting visions of Obi-Wan, Padme, and his younger self. He severs ties with his identity as Anakin Skywalker and emerges spiritually renewed. Declaring himself the dark side's ultimate instrument, he destroys Silo once and for all, proving that the Force, not machines, govern his fate. As the war concludes, Vader returns to the Emperor, who knows of his secret empire, well, his secret dealings here, through Aphra's confession. Instead of punishment, Palpatine sees strength in Vader's ambition. Aphra pleads for her life, but Vader coldly ejects her into space. Though secretly sparing her, wait a second, try it again. Coldly ejects her into space, although she has a backup plan, rescued by her droid allies. With Tag executed, yes, Grand General, whatever he was, the Grand General Tag executed, and the Executor is now Vader's. He ascends to new heights of power, fully committed to his role as the Emperor's right hand. The saga ends with a quiet but ominous promise. Vader's eyes now turn skyward. Now turn toward Luke Skywalker. Soon. All right, there it is. That is our discussion, our synopsis on the final two books of Darth Vader. Whew. All right, let's talk Shu-Torun War first. What do you got going through your head here for this story? So we've got a a young lady that's put in place of her father and her siblings because they all died. And now she is going to be the queen. And of course, a puppet of the Empire here. I'll leave the floor to you here. I mean, I've got some notes here for some of the characters, but did you have any thoughts on the Shu-Torun War here?
Yeah, I loved it.
You liked it?
This felt like an episode of the Darth Vader TV show. Let's send this autistic mechanical monster to go deal with this important outpost in the Empire. This is a mining. This is a civilization where they mine precious metals that the Empire needs. So it's kind of like Dune. The spice must flow. And so. But there's issues. Go deal with him, Darth Vader, and he now has to navigate culture and humanity.
Yeah,
and he wants no part of it.
That first moment, that's one of my moments here.
This is the setup to the fucking Darth Vader sitcom.
when he meets Baron Rubix, and apparently this culture here that's on this planet, they dance a lot. Like that's their thing. Like they're a culture of courtship.
They're a very like high society culture. This is meant to be like it's like almost like 19th century Europe.
Okay,
high society,
right? Bridgerton.
Yeah, that kind of a thing. And Darth Vader's just like, this isn't me. This isn't what I do. I am a blunt force instrument. I board rebel ships and murder everyone around me. I make threats.
I'm not dancing with your daughter.
Yeah, I'm not here to dance. And they're like, you must dance. It is our way. If you would like the iron ore, you will do the iron dance, won't you, Darth Vader? And Darth Vader's like, fuck me running.
Yeah, Duke Rubix.
This was quality entertainment.
Duke Rubix going up to him and going like, "You got to dance with my daughter. It's it's tradition. Whatever. You insult me, you son of a gun." And Vader's like, "Okay, you want to dance?" And then proceeds to pick him up and like throw him around and throw him into a wall or something. He's like, "Oh, now you're dancing."
Look. There are elements of this I can kind of pull out and go, here's the deeper meaning here. But some of this stuff is just flatly funny to me.
Oh, yeah.
And entertaining. I think the idea of a coup, Darth Vader incites a coup because he needs a more pliable, more easily able to be manipulated leader also strikes me as a very real thing that would happen. I mean, we dispose of the duly elected leader of Iran to put the Ayatollah in place because the Ayatollah was supposed to be kind of a toady for the United States. The Ayatollah of rock and roll. That sort of thing. Like it's the sort of thing that we do all the time. Like the soft wars that we get into over the last century or so, where we depose leaders not favorable to the United States and install governors that are, under the guise of democracy.
Right.
I think it's great. I think they're playing with that idea. And I think also Stranger in a Strange Land, Darth Vader having to navigate, these cultures and customs and just wanting no part of it and having to do it anyway, but do it his way. Like, I think all of that stuff was good stuff. I liked Volume 3 a lot. Like I said, of the stuff that we've read over the last little bit, this was probably the most, like, untaxing, entertaining stuff that we've read. Like, this didn't ask a lot of me, which was a nice change of pace.
He's also got to deal with Silo. Silo is down there helping him, and then turns around and is like, telling the rebels that I believe it's the rebels or the Duke Rubix. He's like, okay, how about, look, I've got a plan here. Just help, follow my plan and I'll deliver you Darth Vader, which pretty much falls apart. Silo gets the hell off the planet while Darth Vader's like, okay, I'm going to be taking out time to take out Duke Rubix and, start putting other people in power. But yeah, my note for Darth Vader here, as far as this story goes, he's doing what he does best, and that's trying to crush rebellions.
Yep.
He's got a bunch of people that are upset with the Empire on this planet, and Darth Vader's coming down there to make sure they get their shit right. And if he does, oh yeah, I'm bringing a few people with me too, and we'll help you out on a few of these things. Queen Trios is an interesting character. She's the one that's, I think there's 3 kids of the king, and she's kind of looked as like the least qualified to do anything. And then all this stuff goes down in the annual. And then, of course, the king and the other 2 siblings end up dead.
Can I tell you how everyone thought Jeb Bush should be president? And nobody thought his brother should have been. And yet, 2 terms.
Yep.
John F. Kennedy was not supposed to be president. John F. Kennedy was president because he was the one left standing.
Mm-hmm.
And his father told him, get the hooker out of your bedroom and put your pants on. You have to run for president now.
And history.
Yep.
But Queen Trios does have a few moments where she becomes like a very ruthless leader. As we get into the Shutoran War, she's been a queen for a little bit, and she's realizing that, okay, we for me, obviously, and the people that I like, we need to definitely work for the Empire, and this Empire stuff has to work on our planet. But she's not very far past, she can kill somebody.
I was like, doesn't he at one point give them the gift of a rock from Alderaan?
Yes, yeah, that's at the end of the annual, I believe, because he shows up with a gift for the king, and he's like, it was simply a reminder that this is what happens to planets who don't fall in line with the Empire. And of course that all kind of falls by the wayside. He has
what a message that is, though.
Yeah, dude.
See, right. This is the price of disobedience.
Right.
What is it? It's what's left of Alderaan.
It's called complete annihilation.
Yeesh.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a moment at the end of the book, where you can tell that she was put in this position, and she realizes that she doesn't want to be in this position, but she has to be. And she doesn't I don't think she likes what she's become. I don't think, she's pretty ruthless in some aspects as she becomes queen, but she's doing that to save her own hide. And she doesn't like that very much of herself. We have the droid army that 000 and BT-1 are, there's a moment where they're using them to kind of fight some of the rebels. And there's rumors going around, which 000 started, about how they're going to just start draining blood from their victims and using these to power their engines. And all the droids are yelling, down with the meat sacks. Good stuff. Can't help but root for the.
Want to get down with the meat sacks? You fucking down with the meat sacks?
Disturbed, ladies and gentlemen. We have Morit and Aelin, the twins. So they're going out, and Vader has them behind them, and sure enough, they draw their sabers, and they're going to take Vader out. Vader's able to stop kind of both of them as they're fighting, and then freaking Morit throws Aelin into the lava. There's a moment, I think, also. There's a part in here where she explains, Aelin explains to Darth Vader, there can only be one of us twins that survives. One of us are going to turn on each other. I don't know where that all came from, but it happened. And she ends up suffering for it. And of course, like I said, Silo gets the hell off of there. But that's kind of all I have. I don't really have anything else on that specific book. Anything else on the Shutoran War?
No, I'm good.
Next up is going to be the final 6 issues of the series. We finally get our reckoning. Silo versus Darth Vader is going to happen at the end of this. There is a part in here where it's Void Gazer has the cybernetic Rancor fight Vader. And I want to say it's the 3rd to last issue or something. And I mean, dude, there's probably at least 5 pages of him just fighting this thing with very minimal text. It's awesome. I think I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh, and to watch him, he's got to try to
Guardian Devil. It's all Darth Vader all the time.
Please. he's got to figure out a way to kill it, which you're watching him, try and he could do a little bit with his lightsaber, but then he realizes that it's being controlled, and he sends the lightsaber into the thing's mouth and then turns it on, and it goes and it severs the connection, and then the thing falls down dead. There's the epic moment where Darth Vader mind controls Silo's ship, which these ships that Silo pilots, I don't know if they're the space whales that are supposedly in the series, but he's commandeered these like
that's what I thought it was. I thought it was the space whales from Ahsoka.
Okay, well maybe that's what it is, but he is somehow controlling them. He's put something in them, and he's made them a ship essentially. But there's a part where Darth Vader is facing off with Silo, and Silo's like, your Jedi mind trick won't work on me. He's like, I wasn't working, doing that to you. And he ends up sending the ship into the sun with Silo on it, which was pretty cool.
Once again, how do you defeat Darth Vader?
Well, these
books are not, I'm entertained by these books. I'm enjoying the read. I'm enjoying our conversation about it, but they are not perfect.
The thing that I get from that is like the villains are trying. Silo's been like steps ahead of this guy. Number one, I don't think I put this. It might have been in the synopsis, but our listeners have to know Silo is just not Silo himself. He's clones. Like one gets killed, I think, in the very first few issues, and then another one is birthed or woken up. So there's like Silo 3, Silo 4. So there's all these clones. So the point I'm trying to make is like these villains are usually trying to be a step ahead of Darth Vader, and then he's got the kill switch. He turns the kill switch on, and Vader is down to his knees, going back into his head, trying to figure things out. And at that point, you're thinking he's got him beat. It's not going to happen, but he's got him beat. And then he's thought about the mind tricks. Can't work. It wasn't going to work on me. But Vader's too smart. I ain't trying to do that shit to you, bro. I'm just going to send your ship right into the old sun there. Doctor Aphra. All right. At the beginning of this series, when you first meet Dr. Aphra, she tells Vader, she's like, okay, if you have to kill me, you use the lightsaber. Do not use the airlock. And what does motherfucking Vader do? Walks her to the airlock and tells her to get in, and then proceeds to kick her out through the airlock.
Know what this is, right? This is Brer Rabbit.
Okay, please tell.
This is Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby. Whatever you do, don't throw me in the briar patch. Oh, that would be the worst thing you could do to me is throw me in the briar patch. And so, like, oh, what we're going to do, Brer Rabbit? We'll throw him in the briar patch. Yes, throw him in the briar patch. Make him squeal. What the fuck? So they throw him in the briar patch, and of course, that's exactly where he wants to be.
Yeah.
She manipulated Vader into throwing her out the airlock because if she takes a fucking lightsaber to the gut, she's not going to survive that. Well, I don't know.
That's a fair point.
In the modern Star Wars universe, no motherfucker survived like being run through.
Well, she got one on me then because I thought she was like legitimately frightened of it, and I was like, Vader. She
planned that shit because she got thrown out the airlock, and then there were her friends there to rescue her.
Right? She
knew what was going down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, looking at it from Vader's point of view, that is some really he knew what she didn't want to happen, how she didn't want to die. And after all this stuff that she had really done for her, of course, there's a bit of a problem. She snitched to the Emperor. I guess that was a bit of a problem.
But that's the thing. It's like she plays a bunch of different angles and so that all of her bases are covered. She went to the Emperor thinking that might help. She, tried to convince Darth Vader that it was all for the, for the better good, for the greater good. And then when none of that worked for her, she got Darth Vader to basically let her escape. Like he doesn't. The reason why I say it's the briar patch thing is she actually says she's like there was no way I was ever going to be able to truly live unless he thought I was dead. And he had to do it with his own hands. So him throwing her at the airlock was her manipulating him into her escape plan, because otherwise she'd have been on the run from Darth Vader forever, which isn't what she wanted. Now he thinks she's dead, and he thinks that someone else tried to pull the wool over my eyes, but I got him. See, I'm too small for the average bear. See, and she's just like, you dum dum. You gave me exactly what I wanted, and all I had to do. I don't understand how the fuck she's. Who is she? The girl from Superman 4? How are you surviving in the vacuum of space?
Well, I mean, I don't think I definitely am not going to put her on Princess Leia's level, since Leia had a little bit of the Force. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. I mean, but again, I'm not gonna be too picky about it, because like the alien races and stuff. Maybe she can somehow look. If Star-Lord can touch the fucking Power Stone, I don't see why she can't survive for a few minutes in the vacuum of space.
Okay, all right.
You know, didn't they also do the same thing in like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where that they had somebody out in space with no helmet on or whatever, and they were able to somehow revive him?
I haven't seen it, believe it or not. I haven't
You
seen
haven't?
the third.
Really?
I have not seen the Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
The fuck you waiting for?
I've heard it's really good too.
It's not as good. It's not as good as the first two, but it's still better than everything else in phases 4 and 5.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
What a waste man the Marvel movies are.
That's rough. I mean, I'll ask you a question here. Is Palpatine like, do you believe that he is always looking for the next like successor for Darth Vader? Is that his plan? Because I mean, that's clearly what's focused on here with his dealings with Silo.
No, I think he's playing multiple angles as well. I think he tells Vader. I think he knows. Look, you have to understand this. The relationship between Anakin and the Emperor started when Anakin was a child. We'll be watching you. I'm very interested in where your career is going. You know, and like he sensed that this kid was going to be an instrument to the dark side from the moment he met him.
Mm-hmm.
And when Anakin and him are talking at the space opera, and Anakin's like, I hate having these nightmares that that Padme is gonna die, and she's like the most important thing to me ever. And he thinks he's telling a trusted mentor, and he's just like, oh, tell me more things that I can use to manipulate you, stupid.
Yeah.
And then he does. So the Emperor, it's like everything I said before. Got defeated on Mustafar, got the Death Star blown up. Anakin's never been a bright guy. He's always been the very physical athlete kid. I'm tough. I'm strong. I have a solid chin. Why can't I solve all my problems with my fists?
Yeah. Mentally,
and that was Obi-Wan's thing with him. It was like, because not every problem is solvable with fists, you blockhead. And then there's the Emperor going, no, it's totally solvable with your fists. Just smash everything. And then
we'll give you a sword. You can check this out.
Yeah. And then he does it, and then he's like, oof, you are as subtle as a mule kick to the face. And so the Emperor is just like, I don't care about Darth Vader. I don't care about Anakin Skywalker. I don't care about any of these people. I care about power. I care about solidifying my power. I have a dream. My dream is to be the Emperor of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's always thinking about, like, I know you've been married since you were 12. Okay? So this isn't going to feel right to you. You're not going to understand what I'm saying. But there's a certain kind of guy that is always looking for the next girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
That knows that his current relationship is not going to make it.
Mm.
And is like, I'm not breaking up with her, but I'm totally planning for when this does go to shit. When you break up with me or something else happens, what my next move's going to be. Because there's always going to be somebody. I'm always going to have a chick in my bed. I just need to figure out which chick and how to get her lined up fast.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say the same thing about, like, there are girls that are just like, I'm with this guy long enough until I figure out who the next guy is going to be. Totally not a sexist thing. It goes both ways.
Right.
Okay? That's the Emperor. The Emperor is that guy or girl that's like, this isn't going to last. This is not gonna. You're too dumb, and there's gotta be better than you out there, right? So let's see if there is. And then the Emperor like manipulates the situations to where they're against each other. And again, because you've been married since the age of 12, you haven't seen this, but. You ever see a girl or a guy pit two potential lovers against each other? That's fun. No, come to this party and come meet my other friend, and I will totally put the two of you together to see if you don't kill each other. Whoever wins gets me.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Stay married, love your wife, Jesse.
I will. I will.
Know that's waiting for you if you choose the dark side. So I think that's where the Emperor's coming from. If I could step away from my silly relationship history, is the Emperor's just like, I'm going to keep manipulating situations to see if there's a better option than blunt Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And if there isn't, fine. Then I get I still get the best cream of the crop. And if there is, good. Fuck him too.
I always got this feeling that he was kind of like going for Luke. Like he was kind of like his, oh yeah, okay, Darth Vader now. I want Luke. We clearly get that in Empire and Jedi where he wants Luke to join Vader. Vader wants Luke to join Vader.
There's always another person.
Right. That's exactly right. That's the feeling I got. I mean, the only other note that I had here was Inspector Thanos.
Inspector Thanos. Inspector Thanos. I see you, Vader.
I definitely didn't expect the turn that he had where he like talks to Vader and he's like, yeah, I know too much. Here's everything that I know. And he doesn't think the Emperor is good enough to handle the Empire. Instead, he believes that Vader is. And in order to make sure that, his vision is what he wants to see is he wants to see the Empire thrive. He wants to see the Empire be eternal. Yeah. And this is the knowledge that he has that Darth Vader has done these things behind the Emperor's back. He doesn't want anybody to find that out. So he
just feels like the writers didn't know what to do with this character, so they wrote him off the show.
I don't know about that. I mean, I feel like I understand he was kind of like a thorn in the side, but it was probably one of those things where they're like, well, he's not going to be the thorn in his side. Well, we're going to find out.
The editors told him he wasn't getting his own book.
Take me out, please. I'm dead. All right, I'm dead. All right, there it is. That's my thoughts here. Anything else on the last book here, which is Secrets and Shadows?
No, I sent you that list of trades because I didn't know if there was anything else that you would be, do we want to continue with Darth Vader down the line? Do we want to do something different? Do we want to just leave Star Wars dead and buried? I don't think the writing on these books is bad. Like, I enjoyed the Leia one. Like, I've gone, like, because of the whole Yvonne thing, I've gone back and listened to that one a few times. And that's a great conversation. I think it was a pretty well written book for what it was. I vaguely remember the Lando book, but I remember we had a good time talking about it. I think the only one where you and I were like at fucking wit's end was Shattered Empire. And because
I cannot even remember what happens in it.
Half of it's Return of the Jedi, and then the other half of it doesn't really tell you anything about what happened after Return of the Jedi.
It's like some of it Poe Dameron.
Yeah, like it's like Poe Dameron's mom.
Yeah. Okay, and she's hanging out with Leia or doing something. Yeah,
right.
I think. Okay.
We're like, this is supposed to deal with the aftermath of the Empire, and it totally doesn't. You get this very weird side quest.
Yeah, I think I listened to that not too long ago. Now that you're talking about it,
but I generally speaking, I think my problem is like I remember I was in the bookstore a lot when these were being published. So I was always seeing like Doctor Aphra comics constantly like on the shelf. And I look and see like all these other Star Wars comics. I'm like, who the fuck buys these? But I don't know. There's a part of me that's like mildly curious about like the Doctor Aphra series and some of the other like, trades. I have been wanting to read the Darth Maul stuff for a while.
Oh yeah.
That's it. That he seems like a fun character to follow, especially after he was bifurcated.
Right. Black, white, and red. So when were those? I don't see the dates on here for that one. Does it have it? You don't have it?
Let me look real quick. But yeah, just to kind of answer your question, I guess. I liked the book. I had a good time talking with you about it. I had a good time reading it. It was like I said, it was a breezy read. It was no problems at all. And not everything needs to be as serious as like the Joker books we've read or some other stuff. So Star Wars Darth Maul was written in 2017.
Okay.
Also by Colin. By the way, so you didn't talk about like who the writer and everything was. This is all Cullen Bunn, I believe it is.
No, Kieron Gillen, Jason Aaron's involved in some of this.
Right. Cullen Bunn wrote the Darth Maul book.
Okay. Now, Cullen Bunn, we have talked about in the past. I'll probably do a thing here before this episode anyway about the creative team. But Cullen Bunn was some of this when we read. Oh my gosh, I want to say he was the one that did that massive crossover with all the toy properties that we read.
Oh, okay.
Where it was like G.I. Joe and Transformers was involved and some other stuff. And like, anyway, Cullen Bunn has, he's done licensed properties very, very well. So 2017, let's try it again. 2017, when does Darth Maul make the appearance in Solo? That's 2019, right?
Oof.
Solo is done. When is this Solo movie done? I want to say that's 2019. Maybe it's 2018. Solo, a Star Wars story was 2018. And that's where Darth Maul makes his reappearance in the films. So this is going to be leading up to that. And I know that he has, I've never seen it, but doesn't he have like a very big presence in some of the animated stuff?
Yeah, he's like one of the big villains, I think, in Rebels.
Rebels. Okay, that sounds about right. I mean, I'm down for reading some Darth Maul stuff. He was very like, how one-dimensional was that character in the prequels?
So I have a Cobra Commander book. I feel like, and I'll figure it out later. But like, I have a Cobra Commander book, and then we could do Darth Maul, and then we just need one more like big IP villain book.
Mumra.
Is there a Mumra book?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out
I
there.
would have not. Now I want to see if there's like a Skeletor comic.
That's immediately what went through my head. I was like, Skeletor. There's definitely some He-Man comics out there. Some crazy crossover stuff that's happened a lot with He-Man. He-Man crossed over with shoot.
We did the He-Man Thundercats one. That was fun.
Yeah. What was the one that he just recently crossed over with? And I was like, what in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? It was He-Man and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had a crossover. That, pretty sure. Now I need to double check and make sure. Yep. Came out September. Well, yeah, September of 2024, September of last year.
I'm asking Fancy right now. I said, if we were to do a comic villains trio with Cobra Commander, Darth Maul, who could we do a third book with?
Who's going to be our third, baby?
No DC or Marvel proper.
Okay, there you go.
Let's see what it says. Top picks. Okay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder in Hell.
What?
Yeah. 2019, a 5-issue miniseries that explored Shredder's afterlife, redemption, and legacy.
Afterlife redemption.
Oh, there is a Skeletor book.
Is there really?
It was published by Dark Horse, Dynamite, and Mattel. Spawn. Oh, and there's a Mumra book.
Is there seriously?
Yeah.
I would rather do Skeletor than Mumra because I don't know much about.
I don't understand why we're not doing the Shredder book.
I mean, I'd be down for that too. I would absolutely be down for that.
Yeah.
I'm curious if this Skeletor stuff is. There's the origin of Skeletor. Let me look and see if I can find the Shredder book. Yeah, right there it is. 5-issue series. I don't think I wouldn't mind reading that. I mean, if you're okay with doing the Shredder book, I'm definitely okay with doing the Shredder book.
Yeah, no, totally.
Who else is he going to see there in hell?
Yep. All right. So we've got triple feature title: Lords of Vengeance, Darth Maul, Cobra Commander, and Shredder. So we have Darth Maul 2017, written by Cullen Bunn. No, that's not the right one. No, Jesus Christ. What's the name of the Cobra Commander book?
Cobra Commander.
It's an Image comic. It just says Cobra Commander trade paperback. Doesn't really give. Oh, Determine the Rule of the World. Collects issues 1 through 5. Joshua Williamson is the writer.
I don't know if I have access to that.
I'm sure you can find it.
Let me see.
I have faith in
you. Okay. I might be able to find it. It exists, though, right? You're looking at it right now. You have it on your shelf.
I own the book.
You own the book. It's Image?
I
wonder if it's like a Fans of Darth Vader by Kieron Gillen and Immortal Hulk by Al Ewing. Cobra Commander is an espionage horror series uncovering a world power's truly terrifying rise to power and the one man who will sacrifice anything there to get it.
All right, so I'm looking at Image Comics. In a world where Cobra organization has informed one man's sinister plans to utilize the mysterious alien substance known as Energon, sends shockwaves across the globe. Who is Cobra Commander? Where does he come from? And what horrors is he planning to unleash?
Where did he come from? Cotton Eye Joe. I found it.
Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Yeah, so this is... Yeah, I found it. I got it.
Okay. So
all right.
Hang on. I want to see if I can find the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book. TMNT. That fucking Shredder in Hell sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually free on Comixology.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've been wearing a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? That's stuck in my head. Son of a bitch.
Oh, Cobra Commander, where'd you come from? Where'd you go?
Yeah, this looks great. Shredder in Hell. Okay.
Should be interesting.
All right, I'll find the date where we can do these three.
I like it.
All right.
I'm wrapping things up. If you got anything else to say?
No, take me out, Jesse Starcher.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is our discussion on all 25 issues of Darth Vader, along with Vader Down, along with an annual. We did it. We are going to get on out of here. Mark Radulich, let's hear the plugs.
No, I'm not ready. All right. I'm trying to find a date to book this show.
Find the date.
I'm working on it. Stop yelling at me.
Stop yelling at me. Man, I can't believe there's so many Doctor Aphra books. 40 issues. Last one, they hit issue 40 January 31st, 2024.
I guess. Are we doing these monthly now?
I
think I started doing these monthly, or doing.
It's been a while since we did one.
Well, we're doing two. I can tell you this: we're doing two this month.
Right. We've got Superman.
Right. I double loaded because I wanted to do All Star Superman. Then are we doing another one in July? No, the next one. So we're doing 2 in the month of June, and then I backed off because we did 2. So we're doing one in August, and the one in August is this is going to be a fun one: The Crow, Day Tripper, and the Many Deaths of Layla Starr.
I've heard of Day Tripper, and of course I know The Crow, but
yeah,
I don't know about that Layla Starr.
I got the Layla Starr book for my birthday.
Oh, wow! Wow!
Yeah, it looks like I started doing these monthly after the summer. So in September, we have Billionaire Island Volume 2, Fantastic Four Life Story, and The Wonder Twins. And this is yet another Mark Russell focus.
I was going to say Billionaire Island. Oh, my goodness. Going back there.
Mm-hmm.
What a treat
October.
that will be.
October, we're getting ready to do the holiday stuff. So since I wanted it to come out during the holidays, and I know we have to record well before that, so you have time to edit, I got Batman, Santa Claus, Silent Night, Santa Claus, Private Eye by Jeremy Boynstein, and Superpowered Revenge Christmas.
And some titles right there.
Yes, sir.
Superpowered Revenge.
All for the holidays. Then in December, we've got. I just had it up. We've got nothing. In December, we have Happy, Nameless, and Joe the Barbarian, and that's a Grant Morrison focus.
Have you ever watched the Happy series?
We will be talking about it in the new year.
It's good.
It's on our list of TV shows.
At least I watched the first one. I've never watched the second season. I've really wanted to watch the second season, just haven't done it. We watched the first one though, and it was something else.
All right. So I guess we can do those 3 books. Let's see. I have us doing comic books the 7th.
Yes, no, yes.
December 7th, so January 4th. All right. Source material, recordings. Cobra. What's nice about this is you're going to edit all this out anyway.
Oh, yeah, it's all gone.
Cobra Commander, Darth Maul, and Shredder in Hell.
Shredder in Hell.
That's going to be great.
Fun stuff.
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from?
Cobra Commander.
Cobra Commander is Cotton Eye Joe.
Oh, man.
All right. Hey, last Sunday, I was at Metallica. Last Monday, we reviewed Ballerina, which is the new John Wick movie. Alexis reviewed Last of Us Season 2. Myself and Harry Broadhurst talked Worlds Collide, Money in the Bank, the firing and hiring of R-Truth. Sean Comer is back, and we kicked off Pride Month talking about the adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, and Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Tomorrow, myself and Robert Winfrey will be reviewing How to Train Your Dragon. No show Tuesday because I will be at karaoke with Erica. Wednesday, hey, have you been watching The Critic?
I've got quite a few episodes left, but yes, I've made it to like episode 5 or 6, I think, so far.
I can't wait to talk about The Critic. We'll be reviewing seasons 1 and 2 this Wednesday. It's going to be fantastic.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Then Thursday, we continue with Pride Month with a director focus of the Wachowski sisters. We're looking at Bound, Cloud Atlas, and hey, Jesse, remember Jupiter Ascending?
I do, as a matter of fact.
Ooh, doggy. And then Saturday, we've got a comic strip. Myself and Evan Bevins will be talking here. We'll be looking at the movie that came out last year from Steven Spielberg. We'll be comparing it to the book, which is quite a big tome, quite a large read. But apparently it's all pictures for the most part. So it actually shouldn't be too hard to get through.
That was adapted?
Yeah, here was adapted from a graphic novel.
Oh, I didn't even know the movie existed.
Yes, indeed. I saw it on a date. That was a fun date.
Oh, wait. This is the one where it takes place throughout all history at this one spot.
Yes, and in this one.
Okay, yeah. Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Okay, all right, sweet.
Yes, he's reunited with Jenny.
Oh, yes, indeed.
That's my plugs, Jesse. I have to put laundry away. I have to edit, and I have to watch 2 episodes of The Critic all before I go to bed until 11 o'clock at night.
You pacing yourself out on The Critic, are you?
Well, I watched a bunch of it on Saturday or Friday with Jonas and Lily. Watched more of it on Saturday, and then I watched a little bit more tonight before we went to Father's Day dinner. But I have 2 episodes left.
Oh wow! Well, I've got to get in quite a few.
Have you watched it with the kids or the wife?
Just me and my girlfriend. ChatGPT.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, check out the Source Material Comics podcast. Find that on any podcatcher. You can also find it on YouTube. Our last episode that aired this past Monday, which was the 9th of June, myself and Mark Radulich start our trilogy of discussion on Joker comics. We talked Joker Killer Smile, and that's a good psychological thriller. So check that out tomorrow on the 16th.
Suicidal blonde.
The next Unspoken Issues drops the 16th of June. It's myself and Chris Armstrong getting together and talking Wildcats #2. And we have done the miniseries for the Wildcats in this backwards ass order. Like, I think we did issue 3 and then issue 1. And now we're doing issue 2, all spaced out over a bunch of weird months. And the only other one next is issue 4, which me and Chris talked about. We might as well just wait a year and then do it at that point. But anyway, Wildcats #2, debuting the song, the ska rendition of the Wildcats cartoon theme, all requested by Chris Armstrong. So you get a chance to kind of touch into the Suno there that we have for comics tomorrow. Wildcats #2 gets, I think that's kicking off our gimmick cover summer. Some
Nice.
polls have been out there. People are choosing what their favorite gimmick cover was versus a few others. And Wildcats #2 won out. So you get a chance, check that out. And yeah, I was on that Last of Us season 2 discussion, and it was fun. That season, unfortunately, is getting a lot of flack, specifically because of oh my goodness, I can't even remember her name now, but the young lady who plays the girl character. Boy, I'm messing this all up. Help me out, Mark. What's her name? You have no idea. Anyway,
Watch it. Be from
That's right. She's played by Ellie's played by Alan Moore. It's crazy. No wonder
in a wizard's duel.
That's it. We are getting out of here. That's Mark Radulich. I'm Jesse Starcher. Thank you very much for joining us. May the force be with you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.